So in this video, we're going to talk about the demand cards. There's a huge deck of command cards here that all have the same kind of look. There's 3 cities that want goods, and then there are cities that produce those goods. So this demand card here, Dublin would like copper, and they're going to pay you 29 million euros for that copper. And you can see that you can pick up copper in Belgrade and Wrocław, which is way over here. There's Wrocław, and then Belgrade's down there. So it takes a little bit of effort to get all the way over to Dublin. The next one is Antwerp, and they would like some cars, and they're willing to pay 13 million for cars. And you can get cars in Manchester, Munich, Stuttgart, and Turin. And you can see we included a little mini map here where the circles tell you where you can get those goods, and the star is where the delivery happens. Each demand card always has 3 choices, and if you use one of the choices, you will discard that card when you complete that delivery, so you won't be able to use the other 2. So if I had delivered hops to Marseille, I wouldn't be able to do the cars to Antwerp or the copper to Dublin. I would be getting a new card instead. So you start the game with 3 demand cards, and you want to look at the mini maps to figure out which ones work together, and hopefully you can string a few deliveries together that are relatively close because money is very tight. So let's run through a demand card here and how it would work in the game. So I have this demand card, and I can see that Antwerp wants cars, and one of the places it can pick up cars is Manchester, which is where my train happens to be. And I also have track built to Antwerp, so I can do this demand fairly easily. So the first thing I would do on my turn is I would pick up cars. And again, picking up goods is free, so I would just grab a car, one of these, add it to my train. I might even pick up a second one, who knows? But we're going to keep on chugging along here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 into Birmingham. So I've got 9 left. And just for the heck of it, we're going to pick up some iron, just in case I find maybe I'll get a new demand card that wants iron and I'll already have it in, which would be great. It also protects me from some disasters, might require me to lose a load, and I can lose that iron instead of that car that I know I'm going to deliver. So continuing my movement onwards, I was at 3, so I'm going to go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to take the channel instead of my slow ferry. And that would be the end of my movement. I could then build, for example, if I wished. I don't really want to build right now, so that would be the end of my turn, and it would be the next player's turn. On my following turn, I would continue my move. I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 into Antwerp. The first thing I do is mark I've got 4 left. And now I'd resolve the demand card. I would collect 13 million from the bank, and this chip would go back to the stack of available chips, and then I would discard this card, and I would take a new card off the top of the deck. And would you look at this? We've got cheese to Berlin. Well, that's not bad. Look, I've got cheese right here in Antwerp, Amsterdam, and Berlin there, and I even have track, so that's a very tempting one, even though it's only 11 million. Brussels is right here, wants coal. Oh, that's too bad that iron's not coal, but coal is fairly easily to get to. There's some in Cardiff, but it's kind of, I either go there and come back. And then Zurich wants fish. Well, Zurich is down here in Switzerland, and fish, I can see, ooh, that's kind of hard to get to. Those are all far off on the edge of the map. So After looking at all this and knowing I've got 4 movement points left, I think I will stop here and I'm going to do this cheese route. So I would stop my movement and then let's do some building. So we're going to go ahead and just build over to Essen. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, plus 2 for the river is 5, and then come out of Essen is 6. And that would be it for my turn. And at that point, I could move up to Amsterdam and then back down and over to Berlin and drop that off. And that's how demand cards work. One last thing I wanted to mention before we sign off here is you always have 3 demand cards. So whenever you turn in a demand card, you grab a new card. And sometimes you're going to get 3 cards that you really don't like. None of them work for you. They're all far off from where you're at. And it's just a nightmare of trying to figure out what to do with these cards. You can, as your full turn, including your building and your moving, discard all 3 of your demand cards to draw 3 new cards. That is it. Thank you.